Hey, how's it going? I'm Nick Gaska and welcome back to I Can Do That DIY for another doll repaint video. Today I'm going to be customizing Honey, the doll that I designed and created myself. This video is going to be a special one because it's a collab. In today's collab we have Electric Bunny, The Hatter's Dolls, Enchanterrium, JackyOhhh, BlurredColors Art, Dolly Pop, Stephoodoll, and myself. I'm very excited to host and participate in this collab. This is going to be my first ever mermaid, and with that being said, this is my first ever mermaid doll. Alright, let's get into it. To start things off, I sculpted a mermaid version of Honey in Blender. This is how it turned out. I'm really happy with it. As you can see, she has a lot of new parts. She has 2 fins on her hips, which I guess would be considered her pectoral fins. 2 more fins further down, which I guess could be considered her pelvic fin or her anal fin. And of course the tail fin, which is also called the caudal fin. She also has a pair of clawed hands with wet fingers. This version of the chest also has gills. I ended up not printing that version, but here it is anyway. The fish part of this mermaid is going to be inspired by a rainbow trout. When I started thinking about doing a mermaid, I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I decided to go with a freshwater inspiration. I used to go fishing all the time with my dad when I was a kid, and I really enjoyed the patterns of the fish, and I really love rainbow trout. I find their color scheme really pretty. They're olive and pink and white with some black spots. Alright, let's get started. Here's how the face turned out. As usual, I'm going to start by laying out the eyes with my watercolor pencils. I'll start with the brown for the eyeliner. Then I'll use a white for the eyeshadow. While I do that, I just have to say thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Also make sure to hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest projects. Also make sure to follow my Instagram accounts. The Honey Doll Instagram will have updates on how to get your very own honey very soon. Once I'm happy with how the eye looks, I'll do the same thing on the other side. Alright, cool, that looks pretty good. Next, let's add some color to the face by using some pastels. I'll start by using a light pink pastel. I'll be using this for her eyeshadow, her blush, and for her lip. Once I'm happy with the progress I've made so far, I'll seal in my work with a layer of Mr. Super Clear. On the next layer, I'll continue to use pastels to build up the color. Alright, now let's introduce this salmon color. I'll be adding it to the outer edge of the eyeshadow. After that, I'm going to blend it into the light pink pastel. Alright, next I'll use my white watercolor pencil to highlight the nose. After that, I'll use my pink watercolor pencil to color in the waterline. On the next layer, using this very tiny black watercolor pencil, I'm going to color in the eyeliner. After I do one side, I'll do the same thing on the other side. Alright, she's looking pretty good so far. Now let's add some more color to the face using a rose pink pastel. On the next layer, using a watered down white acrylic paint, I'm going to paint in my cut crease. I'll also color in the bottom eyeliner shape as well. It can be a little sloppy toward the inside because I can clean that up with some black watercolor pencil later on. Alright, cool. Now that I've done both sides, I'm going to work on the face with a white watercolor pencil. I'm going to highlight the nose again, as well as work on the lip. Alright, now using an olive green pastel, I'm going to shade the white areas. Once I blend the olive green really nicely into the white, I'll seal it in with a layer of Mr. Super Clear. Then after that, using a very sharp black watercolor pencil, I'm going to work on the lower eyelashes. Once I'm happy with the lower eyelashes, I'm going to add some more color to the olive. On the next layer, using a watered down black acrylic paint, I'm going to paint over the eyeliner shape. This will make the eyeliner really nice and opaque. Alright, cool. Now I'll do the same thing on the other side. After that's all dry, I'll add some glitter to the eyeshadow. Ooh, pretty, it's nice and sparkly. Now I'm going to gloss the waterline and the lip. Of course there isn't enough sparkle in the face already, so we're going to be adding some black rhinestones. I'll be adding them sporadically throughout the eyeshadow, but making them symmetrical. These in a way will replace the eyebrows. If you haven't noticed by now, I do anything I can to not do eyebrows. It's not that I dislike eyebrows, I just kinda hate doing them. It's often a pain to make them symmetrical, so this is a nice alternative. Alright, cool, this is the final rhinestone placement that I landed on. Next I'll be giving her some upper eyelashes. To do this, I'll be using Kiss brand faux eyelashes in the style Shy. I'll measure the eyelash up to the eye and then cut it to length. After that, I'll use some quick dry tacky glue on the eyelash and the eye. Then I'll apply the eyelash and fuss with it. Once I'm happy with the position, I'll let it dry in place. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Alright, I'm just going to let these dry, and next up is the eyes. I'll be starting with my usual eye base and painting the iris a light green. I'll be doing most of the work on the iris off screen. Alright, so this is how the irises turned out. I gave them a dark green pupil and added some glitter. Now let's seal in my work with a layer of UV resin. After I pour in the resin, I'll cure it with UV light. After I do both eyes, I'm going to add the catch lights. For the catch light today, I'm going to be using this really cute Starburst nail charm. I painted it white off screen. I'm just going to use some glue to hold it in place. Once I do both sides, I'll add some more catch lights with white acrylic paint. Then I'll dome and then gloss the eyes. So here's how the eyes turned out. I really love how they look. I decided to place them at a sideways glance. Alright, now let's work on the outfit. I designed and 3D printed her a lily pad hat and a lily pad bra. Now I'll paint the lily pad green and the flowers white. The flowers will have a gradient of pink towards the center. And of course, the very center of the flower will be yellow. Alright, now that the hat is all painted, let's work on a fastening device. This is a layer of felt with a green fabric facing. I'll be making a tie for a hat out of embroidery floss. I'm going to start by supergluing a piece of embroidery floss to the base. I'll add some glue and then stick it on. Once the floss is attached, I'll add more glue and then stick it to the underside of the hat. And there you go. Now let's work on the bra. Please ignore this tail color, this will not be our tail color. This is just my prototype tail. Of course the bra is going to be placed right here. But to give it a little bit more interest, I'm going to add some ties. I'll put the tie around the neck. Add some glue to the underside of the bra, and then stick it on. Alright, that looks really good. Now let's move on to the tail. The tail has a lot of different pieces. Here they all are. I'm going to start by working on the tail with some pastels. I'll do 3 coats of an olive pastel. I'm going to start heavy towards the back and gradate towards the front. I'll keep the very front a cream color and then ombre it into a pink. I'll do the same thing for the fins. Alright, to give the olive green section a little bit more contrast, I'm going to do a dry brushing of a slightly lighter olive. Okay, cool. Now let's add the black spots. To do this, I'll be using acrylic paint. However, I'll be doing 2 different levels of opacity. I'll do a fully opaque dark spot and then some watered down spots so they're less opaque. Once everything is fully painted, I'll protect my paint job with a UV top coat. Since I want the tail to look wet and fishy, I'll be using a shiny top coat. Once everything is gloss, I'm going to cure it with some UV light. Then I can go ahead and assemble the tail. Off screen, I already attached the 2 hip fins. I also attached the waist piece to the lower waist. Now, using this piece of elastic, we're going to string everything together. I'll start by hooking the tail and going through all the pieces. Alright, awesome, that looks great so far. Now let's make her another accessory. We'll be giving her a wheelchair so she can be mobile on land as well. This wheelchair was actually sourced from a Ken doll. To paint this wheelchair, I'll be using various tones of acrylic paint. I want it to look like it's been pulled from a swamp. After the chair is nice and gunky looking, we're going to add some further distressing by breaking the spoke. I'll start by cutting it and then gluing it into a new position so it looks like it's bent. Alright, cool. Now let's add some vegetation. To do this, I'll be adding some glue and some green flocking, as well as some moss and some other little bits. Alright, I think that's looking pretty good. Now let's move on to the hands. As I mentioned earlier, I designed a new pair of hands. These hands have webbed fingers as well as a claw nail. I'm going to start by painting the webbing. I'll be painting them a light pink. Then I'll use pastels to ombre them. I'll also be painting the nails green. The hands will also get black spots just like the body. Once everything is all painted, I'll be glossing the webbing as well as the nail. To do this, I'll be using a matte varnish. If you don't water down the matte varnish, it actually dries kind of shiny, so it's perfect for this. I'll be using the same matte varnish to gloss the lily pads. However, as you saw earlier, I already attached them to the body, so I'll be glossing them on the body. Once the varnish is all dried, we're going to be adding some permanent dewdrops using some UV resin. I'm going to just add a drop of resin and then cure it with the UV light. So here she is, here's the finished result. I'm super happy with how she turned out. For my first mermaid doll, I'm really happy that the tail just worked in general. It was a little difficult to wrap my mind around the mechanics of the tail, but I'm glad it worked out in the end. I'm also very happy with the paint job. I'm glad I went with the rainbow trout color scheme. I wanted to do a freshwater fish to begin with and something indigenous to North America. That's also why I went with a darker skin tone as well as giving her long black hair. The wig was actually something I had on hand from a previous project that I never finished, so it really worked out for me. I'm also obsessed with the lily pad details. They're so pretty. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think for her name, we're going to go with Lily. Thank you so much for watching, and for the rest of the video, enjoy the photos. And also make sure to stick around to the very end of the video to see the collab shot. So here's the collab shot. Thank you to everyone who participated in this collab. From left to right, we have JackyOhhh, the Hatters Dolls, myself, Dolly Pop, Enchanterrium, Stephoodoll, Electric Bunny, and BlurredColors Art. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!